They say some places are forgotten by time, places where lost souls wander, trapped between worlds. Tonight I want to tell you about the Keeper of Lost Souls, an ancient entity that guards a realm where the restless dead can never escape. It all began when Alex, a paranormal investigator, discovered an old journal buried beneath the floorboards of an abandoned cabin deep in the woods. The pages were brittle, the ink faded, but the words inside told a chilling tale. "Beware the Keeper," the journal warned in a whispery voice, "for he collects those who lose their way, trapping their souls in endless darkness." Alex was skeptical. Just another ghost story, he thought, a myth to add to the collection. Yet curiosity won over caution. He decided to spend a night in the cabin, determined to uncover the truth for himself. As night fell, the air inside the cabin grew cold. Shadows stretched and twisted, dancing just beyond the candlelight. Alex lit a candle, its flame flickering as if battling an unseen breath. "It's just the wind." "Nothing more," he muttered to himself, trying to shake the growing unease. But then the whispers started, soft, distant voices carried on the night air, barely audible but unmistakably there. Alex froze, his heart pounding. "Help us. Lost, trapped." The voices seemed to say, "Who's there?" he whispered, voice trembling. Suddenly the cabin's door creaked open on its own, revealing a dark hallway swallowed by shadows. Fear gripped him. The warnings from the journal echoed in his mind. The Keeper was near. As Alex stepped into the hallway, ghostly figures began to appear, faces twisted in pain, eyes hollow and pleading. They reached out, desperate and trapped between this world and the next. "Don't forget us, don't join us," they whispered in unison. "No, I'm not leaving here. Not like this," Alex stammered, terror gripping his voice. From the deepest shadows, a figure emerged, a towering presence cloaked in darkness, eyes glowing like dying embers. "You've come too far, Seeker. Now your soul belongs to me," the Keeper's voice rumbled, deep and menacing. "Please, I didn't mean to disturb," Alex begged. Silence. "All who wander here are lost, and now so are you," the Keeper replied coldly. Alex tried to run, but the hallway twisted endlessly, a labyrinth with no escape. His heartbeat thundered in his ears as chaotic whispers surrounded him. The last thing he saw was the Keeper's hand reaching out, cold and inevitable. And now Alex is just another lost soul, trapped forever, waiting for the next curious soul to enter the Keeper's realm. So the next time you hear whispers in the dark, remember the Keeper of Lost Souls. Some doors are meant to stay closed. The wind screamed through the trees like a warning as Eliza Crane stood before the gates of Greystone Manor. The iron bars, twisted and rusted, groaned against the breeze. It had been abandoned for nearly 50 years, yet something about the place felt awake. She wasn't here for thrill-seeking. She'd inherited the property after the death of an uncle she never met. No one in the family spoke of him. No one spoke of the manor either. It was dusk now. The sky was bruised purple, the trees clawing at the last traces of sunlight. With a trembling breath, Eliza pushed open the gate. The crunch of gravel underfoot echoed like thunder in the stillness. She reached the front door, blackened wood, cracked with age. The brass knocker shaped like a lion with hollow, staring eyes. The key turned too easily. Inside, the manor exhaled. Dust danced in the air like ash. The entryway yawned before her, choked in cobwebs, smelling of rot and secrets. Eliza's flashlight swept over portraits on the wall, faded faces with stern eyes. Each seemed to watch her. She told herself it was just the atmosphere, just nerves. But the air was too still, the silence too loud. She ascended the staircase, drawn by a feeling she couldn't name. The banister was cold beneath her fingertips, almost wet, as if touched by breath. On the second floor, the hallway stretched long and narrow, swallowed in shadows. Doors lined each side, all closed except one. The door at the end stood slightly ajar. She should have turned back. She should have left right then. Instead, she stepped forward. As she neared the open door, she noticed something odd. The temperature dropped. Not slightly, drastically. Her breath misted in front of her. Her teeth chattered. But she kept walking, drawn by something deeper than curiosity. Something old. Inside the room, moonlight spilled through cracked curtains. The bed was still made, sheets yellowed and stiff. A rocking chair sat in the corner, gently moving back and forth. No wind, no movement, yet it rocked, and then a voice, barely a whisper. "Eliza?" Her blood ran cold. The flashlight flickered. She spun around, nothing. No one. "Eliza," it came again. From the hall. She stepped backward, heart hammering, when the door slammed shut behind her. The flashlight died. She was alone. In pitch darkness, something breathed in the room with her. She wasn't alone. She held her breath, ears straining. And then she heard it scraping, like nails against wood. Then a soft thud. Then another. Something moving. In the brief flash of lightning outside, she saw it, a figure crouched by the bed. Pale, long-limbed, with eyes like black oil reflecting the light. It grinned jagged, unnatural. And then it lunged. She screamed, stumbled out of the room, falling into the hall. The door slammed behind her. Locked, the house shook. The portraits on the wall bled black tar from their eyes. A woman's voice echoed through the halls, not screaming, sobbing. "Eliza, you came back." She ran down the stairs, through the foyer, but the front door was gone, vanished. Where it had once stood was now a solid wall. She pounded her fists, screaming, crying. Behind her, the sobbing grew louder. More voices joined in a chorus of despair. Then a whisper in her ear. "You were never meant to leave." She turned, face to face with the thing from the room. Only now it wore her face, twisted, decayed. Its eyes glowed like embers. And then silence. She woke in a bed. Morning sunlight streamed through the window. Had it been a nightmare? She sat up confused, disoriented. A voice called from the hallway. A woman's voice. "Eliza, breakfast is ready." She froze. She didn't know the voice, but her legs moved on their own, carrying her to the door, down the stairs, into a kitchen that shouldn't have existed. A woman stood with her back to Eliza, humming. She turned and Eliza gasped. It was her mother. But her mother had died 15 years ago. The woman smiled warmly. "You're finally home." Outside the window, the world was still, too still. Greystone Manor doesn't let you leave. It never did. They say every antique holds a story. When Emma moved into her new apartment, a cozy third-floor unit in a quiet old building, she found something left behind by the previous tenant. A tall, ornate mirror leaning against the wall in the bedroom, covered in a dusty white sheet. She hadn't ordered it. The landlord hadn't mentioned it. But it was beautiful Victorian style with black iron trim, the glass oddly untouched by age. She decided to keep it. That night, while brushing her teeth, Emma caught movement in the mirror from the corner of her eye. But when she turned, nothing. Just her reflection. She laughed it off. Get a grip, old mirror. Old building. Creaks and shadows. But the feeling stayed. It was the second night when she noticed something truly strange. As she lay in bed, scrolling her phone, she glanced at the mirror. Her reflection was still holding the phone, but wasn't moving. It was frozen, staring directly at her. No scrolling, no blinking, just staring. Emma sat up sharply. Her real phone slipped from her hand. She looked back at the mirror. Her reflection sat up a second later and smiled, but Emma hadn't smiled. She threw a blanket over the mirror. The next morning, the blanket was on the floor. Over the next few days, things got worse. Emma would hear soft whispers, muffled and distorted, when she passed the mirror. Her reflection sometimes didn't match her actions. It would smile when she didn't, tilt its head, blink late, and sometimes it was gone altogether. She tried filming it, but her phone shut off every time she aimed it at the glass. By day 6, Emma couldn't sleep. She researched the mirror. Every antique shop she called denied ever selling it. She even asked the landlord, who swore the room had been empty after the last tenant left. "I never leave furniture behind," he said. "Last girl took everything, except maybe her problems." That night, Emma dreamed of a woman, trapped in the mirror, palms pressed against the glass, screaming soundlessly. Her face looked eerily familiar. Desperate, Emma decided to destroy it. She picked up a hammer, walked toward the mirror, and froze. Her reflection wasn't holding a hammer. It was smiling and walking toward her. Emma screamed and swung, but the hammer passed through empty air, striking the wall behind the mirror. The glass didn't even crack. Instead, her reflection reached the glass and placed its hand on it. A cold chill surged through her chest. She tried to step back, but her legs wouldn't move. They're always searching for someone new to take their place. The last thing Emma saw was her own hand vanishing into the mirror. The next morning, the mirror sat still, silent, and empty. Until, hours later, a faint face appeared in the glass, screaming behind a layer of shadowed glass, palms pressed against it from the inside. They say every antique holds a story, but some are still writing theirs. So if you ever find a mirror in a place it doesn't belong, don't look too long, because the cursed ones, they're always searching for someone new to take their place.